Well, greetings. Okay. A couple of people have asked me to look at Rob Skiba's balloon launch. Now, I wanted to wait a couple of days, which I did patiently, to see if he actually is going to produce. Well, to see what his final results were. And now he's put out another little hangout where they discuss it. I guess I just ran through the slider to look at the thumbnails of it, and they didn't put out anything new, so it was a whole lot of talk. Um, okay, quick little rundown. Rob Skiba did a balloon launch, and previous to the balloon launch, he enlisted the help of a guy or a crew to put a gimbal, a three-axis gimbal, on the balloon itself, attached to a GoPro with a standard lens, not with a GoPro wide-angle lens on it, and which is not an uncommon thing to do. People have done that before. Dwayne Kellum has also done it. So the what's up, Bodie? All right. Now, his setup looked like it was all fine. They didn't really go too much into the avionics or any of the things that they were using, but that's neither here nor there. How he retrieves it and how he gets his data. That's open to discussion at any time. Now, you need to know that the stuff that I'm about to say here is actually a critique of the technique that was used. Okay, and what it was not going to do for them. This is not a critique to say that he didn't launch a balloon. This is not a critique to say I saw curvature or anything like that. Please understand that from the get-go. This is a critique of the methods and equipment and, well, in all honesty, this very, very poorly performed. Even though it looked like they had this whole mission control thing going on, and it was cool. And that's the kind of stuff that I dig getting into. I fly a lot of RC, and I know people who take it even more seriously than I do, and they bring a lot of equipment out to the field with ground stations and goggles and all that other neato stuff. And I even got a friend of mine who has one of those three-axis trackers on a tripod that actually he can watch his antenna receiving his video actually move with the device, and it's really cool stuff. So this is actually an area that I'm very interested in, and therefore I do have a little bit of insight into some of the many things that went wrong here, and so I just want to hit up on that real quick here. Number one, okay, now this was the mount that they put on the bottom. This is not the exact same mount. Okay, I believe it's the same manufacturer, but they have like 4 or 5 different mounts that you can use to put onto different devices and stuff like that. He has here obviously a more solid mount, or at least with a cover on it, but I'm pretty sure that it's by the same company. Now this is a standard one, and it has most of the same components. It's just this is a 2-plate type mount, whereas this one just appears to be a little bit more solid. There would be another plate here anyway, if you were going to mount this on, let's say, a quadcopter or a drone or something like that. Now, first thing that I have to say is I don't really 100% know why they wanted a gimbal on this thing. Now, of course, you can have the discussion that they wanted a gimbal to do the horizon always meets the eye level thing and all this, which you will see they would not have gotten those results anyway, per their own footage here. They would not have gotten those results. Now, you could also say that they wanted it nice and stable, and so you can get some clear shots, and I'm cool with that. Okay, but putting this gimbal or any gimbal of this style onto the bottom of this balloon basket, here's what they screwed up on. Here's the first thing they screwed up on. Number one, they didn't put any kind of a solid tether, just like a hanging cable or something like that, something that was solidly on here for the purpose of retaining their equipment. I guess when you pray for the weather, you don't pray for the return of your equipment. any one of these devices, you can have any one of probably about 30 different ways that you could have put a piece of hardened cable or a ring or something that would have kept this on the mount. Okay, now because these little grommets here, okay, these are to cushion vibration. Okay, vibration which would normally be on a powered aircraft like a quadcopter or an airplane or a helicopter or something like that, to add to the quality of the end video. However, they are not actually affixed. They're just kind of popped into these holes. Now, they're popped in very well, but they're not meant to take like a crash or something like that. They will pop out. But seeing that a balloon is not going to give you vibration except for on the way down, of course. Okay. Yes, Blargo, they lost the bottom camera, and we're going to go into that in a minute here. And so now here's the thing. Seeing that a balloon is not going to have intense vibrations, there was no reason to use this portion of the mount. Okay, they could have used just the base plate and screwed it to the there's some very thin plywood that they use on the bottom. Looks like it was laser cut out or something similar on the top and on the bottom, and they could have just screwed it to the case, okay, to the housing of the package. But they didn't do that. I don't know why they were anticipating vibration, because like I said, there is no vibration in a balloon launch. Okay, there's a whole lot of hell going on when it's on its way down, but these couple little rubber grommets here, they're not going to do anything for you in that case. Okay, so that was major screw up number one, because that also aided in the loss of the camera, because this whole thing, you could yank it off with your hand. Okay, it's not affixed on there very strongly, and I'm sure there's people out there who have who have their own quadcopters and stuff like that, high end and low end, and they know that comes off pretty easily. And so that was extremely poor planning on their part. Now I can admit here, this is a snapshot of the video as it was going through. This is a different lens than the GoPro lens. Okay, yes, you can swap these lenses out. You can buy them. There's a whole market of different lenses you can get. You can get ones with zoom, and you can get ones that have no fisheye and blah blah blah, because ultimately the GoPro is one badass camera in itself. It's built to be an action camera, but the camera and the sensor on it are really awesome. So if you can swap out the lenses for other uses, why not do that? It's a slightly complicated process, but it's not impossible. Okay, so that was the first thing, is mounting it on these grommets. They lost this entire device here, including the camera with the lens and obviously the onboard footage, which I'm sorry, man, that shouldn't have happened. There were about 50 different ways that they could have done this a lot better. Okay, now according to them, now I haven't seen any kind of telemetry yet. Now they might have brought up in their little discussion that they had afterwards, the video, I think it was put out yesterday. They might have brought it up during that and all this, but the telemetry said, as far as they're aware, it went up 118,000 feet, which is actually 4,000 feet more than what Dwayne Kellum's went up. Okay, so it would have been awesome footage to be able to analyze. Okay, but unfortunately, we may never know. Now, this is the part that really pissed me off. As an RC guy, okay, these guys have a high gain antenna. Okay, and he's got this ready-made RC's video monitor, and he's got his carrying case for all of his equipment. I don't know what he normally has in here, but he's got all of his equipment. But now this is going to make sense in the first time that I say it to the guys who actually did this stuff. He has, between this and the high gain antenna, no DVR. Okay, for those of you who don't know, a DVR is digital video recording. Okay, now some of these monitors come with them. I can verify for you that this particular model, yes, I did look it up. this particular model from Ready Made RC does not have a built-in DVR, but if you are going to send up equipment which is going to go out of your sight and you have to go looking for it, and you have the antenna equipment to track the live video coming down, okay, having a recorder, and I can speak for myself personally because I've had to go hunting for my plane a couple of times, having a DVR recorder is pivotal to getting your equipment back. That's one of many ways, because you can analyze the footage of where it went down, okay? And in this particular case, what they would have been able to do, this is supposedly the live video, and I have no reason to disbelieve it. This is supposedly the live video coming from the camera hanging on the gimbal on the bottom. Now, obviously, once the thing got separated from the payload of the balloon, the video would have cut off. That's obvious, okay? The cable would have been severed and it was gone, okay? However, you would have been able to get a timestamp of when it got separated, because then you can use the GPS data that you were using. By the way, GPS doesn't exist on flat Earth. The GPS data that you would have been using would have told you where that separation occurred. And since the thing has no parachute on it, it would have gone down like a meteor, okay? And you would have had a very, very small area of where you would have had to go looking for that camera. Right now, that camera's out there in that field somewhere, or wherever it is, below, I would say within about 30 seconds of the time that the camera or the balloon popped, the actual burst. Okay, so so wherever you guys show that you have it up on Google Earth and you have it on Google Maps and stuff like that, and you guys were tracking it and stuff like that, I would say within the first minute, whatever the footprint is of the first minute after the actual burst, actual return to Earth, you will find in that footprint, you will find your camera. Okay, I'm almost positive of it. And no, it did not cut the cable like a shear. Okay, but we'll go into that in a second. Okay, now this is what they returned. Okay, obviously, like I said, here's the 4 rubber grommets, and look, they're in there real good. However, like I said, they're just rubber. They're a slightly harder rubber than, well, about the same type of rubber as in a tire, a car tire or a bicycle tire. Okay, and the whole thing popped off. Now, they said about 4 or 5 times, and I couldn't believe it. I just wanted to smack somebody. Okay, these are the cable leads that come off that actually go to the gimbal and to the camera itself. Okay, one's a power lead, one up, and then the other one's power lead, video lead, and then there's the gimbal control itself that you can actually control the gimbal should you need to. Okay, now I don't know about I don't know what some people think in physics or maybe even in arts and crafts, okay, but a piece of cord or rope completely wrapped up in whatever, I guess latex or whatever the balloon is made out of, is not going to cut the cord at length. Okay, now we could sit here and say, well, they cut it off before they came out of the field and then pulled the camera off and stuff like that, so they can say that they lost the camera so they can go actually analyze the video before they put it out. And if there's something in the video that shows the curvature of the Earth, then they can go back on the original story saying they lost the camera. Now, that is one route you could go with that. Okay. However, the rope did not cut this cord. Okay. The rope did not cut this cord. If anything, it yanked the connector off of the cord, which would answer it to be everything at the same length. Okay, they're talking about how it was like cut and all, blah, blah, blah. Really? Okay. So, speaking of connector, now these are the connectors that go on to one of these. Okay, like I said, it's 4 pairs. One's video, one's power, one's and the other 2 have to do with the actual gimbal control. And they are just stuffed into a nice little what would that be? That would be an 8-pin connector. Okay. The problem I have with this thing supposedly getting ripped off is that the connector would have survived that ripoff because of the fact that it would have pulled out, unless they, I don't know, glued it in there. I can't know that, and I will never know that. Okay, but the connector would have survived. In other words, what would be hanging off of here would be the connector. It would not be open wires. And if it was open wires, you would see at least one or two of them would have the socket connectors still hanging off of them. Okay, or there would be strands of wire hanging off there if it got ripped off. I don't see any of that, so I have my doubts. Okay, but I'm not going to voice those doubts because, like I said, you know, I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but the problem is that their only explanation is that it cut off like shears. Anyway, now this is what I was talking about, the tracking. Now they did one hell of a they had, like, seems like every computer screen had some kind of a tracker going on it, on where the actual balloon went up and where it came down and all this other stuff, and so good, mind you, so good that apparently, if the video is you know, if all the video is authentic, of course, they actually drove out to where it came down as it was coming down. They actually witnessed the thing hit the ground, which is great as far as the search goes. Okay, because there's a lot of people, they'll wait till it comes down and then they'll go looking for it, and that could take forever. They actually filmed the thing coming down. Okay, which is great. Now, I'm going to use as an example, I'm not going to say that this is where the balloon popped. Okay, but I'm just going to use this spot as an example. Let's say this spot is the same as this. It's most likely not, because these are two different clips in the video. Okay, but if the balloon popped here, that's when all the hell is happening around the package and around the payload, and with the burst balloon and stuff like that whipping around. Okay, after that, it's pretty sane. Okay, after that's pretty sane. You're hanging on the parachute, you're going down. Yeah, you're coming down fast and you might be spinning around, but that's about it. Okay, and so if the actual gimbal got ripped off, then wherever that balloon popped, within about a minute's time, because this is all time here, within about a minute's time, if you put it in the 2D function, like here, let's say this is where the balloon popped. Like I said, I'm not saying it is. Like I said, these were different times in the video. But as an example, if this is where the balloon popped, then I would say right around here is where you're going to find your camera. You're not going to find it where the payload actually landed, only because of the mere fact that there's some drift that could happen. Obviously, with the amount of motion that happened here, you know, there were some wind currents, you know, higher altitude wind currents that would have to be considered, and all this. So your balloon, your payload on the parachute floated around a little bit. Okay, so long story short, wherever the pop happened, I would be out there looking there. Now, I fly RC planes. Okay, and like I said, I have lost one or two RC planes, but I have recovered them. Okay, lost meaning I lost sight of it, or it went down somewhere where I was unfamiliar with the area and all this, but I went back and got it. Now, the reason why I was able to do that is a not so crazy trick that a lot of RCers do, especially when it comes to people who do FPV flight and all this, who are not directly looking at their aircraft. Is you go out and you get a keychain, a remote controlled keychain finder. Okay, they cost like $10-15. Okay, and you get 4 receivers, and you get a little remote, and they're usually good for up to about 50-60 meters. 50 or 60 meters of stuff that you can't see through. Now, if you were going to have this gimbal, where's that? If you were going to have this gimbal hanging on these little bitty rubber grommets, you could stick one of those things onto the side here. Okay, and most of them actually have adhesive, and if they don't have adhesive, hey, just get some crazy glue and stick it on there. Okay, because all in all, this right here, okay, the camera's going to run you probably about $300 to $400, depending on which version you get and which type you get. and the gimbal runs you about $100, okay, depending on what quality you get. Okay, now it's pretty stupid to hang that high just off a couple of rubber grommets with no intention of actually thinking that something is going to fail, especially when it's out of your sight. Okay, so next time you do this, go get one of these. Put one of these on your top camera. Put one of these on your gimbal. Put one of these on your payload. Okay, and then you can go looking for them. You don't even have to see it come down, as long as you know the general area. And then you start thumbing through those remote control buttons, and guess what happens? You find your stuff. Okay, and these are these are pretty rugged devices. Okay, so now the next problem that I have. This really messed me up here. One of the things that they kept on talking about with the top camera, not the one on the gimbal below, but the top camera, was they wanted to be able to see if they can get stars at the high altitudes. Okay, claiming that they put this thing on low light setting. Okay, now I own a GoPro Hero 4. Okay, I have also owned 2 2s and a 1. Okay, as far as low light goes, yes, you can do awesome star trails things. You can take pictures of things at night and stuff like that. And the low light setting is really good. Okay, but the low light setting is a duration setting. Okay, it's not just a live video low light. Yeah, you can get some better stuff on the newer versions, but you're not going to get candlelight photo, or video. Excuse me. You can get them in photo, but you can't get it in video. And so what bothered me is they said they had this on low light settings so that when they get all the way up there, they were going to be able to see see if they could see stars. Now, number one, this camera came back down with the package. They recovered this camera, which is where this video in the background here is. Okay, they recovered it. They have it. Okay, now mind you, this camera has its standard lens. It does not have, the standard fisheye lens that's on a GoPro. It does not have the straight lens, because let me emphasize this, because when you send a balloon up and you want to get the maximum amount of video footage, you put a fisheye lens on it. That's why fisheye lenses go up. To all the other people who say that that GoPros were created for fooling people and all that other shit. Okay, this camera just has a standard lens on it. That's how they're able to have it inside of the standard housing, and the faceplate is not, or the face glass is not removed. This is at least a 3, if not a 4. I don't know, but because the larger the smaller square lens was first introduced on the 3, because people were pissed off we couldn't film underwater. In clarity, excuse me. And but they recovered this. Now they played a short excerpt of it in the background here at the 19-minute 47 mark of his video. Now, I want you to look at this right here. Now there are various other parts where the sun moves around and stuff like that. I'm not saying that any of this has been obviously faked or anything like that. And there's 1 or 2 times where in the corner you see the Earth. Now, mind you, we're not discussing curvature at this point. It does have a standard GoPro lens on it. But here's the thing. If you had this thing set to low light, one of 2 things was going to happen. Either A, this entire screen would be white right now. Okay, because low light looking at the sun is going to make a white screen. Okay, now if you had it in any kind of now obviously you didn't have it in a time-lapse sense, but had you had that in a time-lapse sense, you would have the sun, it would be making big stripes everywhere. Okay, so sorry, honestly I question you having this in low light settings, because you wouldn't see even this still frame that I put it at. Okay, you wouldn't see the sun like this if that thing was actually in a full, trying to get the stars type view. Okay, because this would be completely bleached out, because that is looking directly at the sun. Okay, I mean, It's not all that difficult. Now, let's see what do we got next here. Okay, now one of the things that Skiba had made a claim about, and they said that they were going to do, was disprove Mythbusters, because there was the one where Adam Savage had the privilege of flying up in a U-2 airplane. Now, the footage from the U-2 airplane, okay, you need to know, ain't nobody ever said that they were using anything but GoPros. In fact, in the pictures, you can see, even in the thumbnail that Skiba used in his in that video, you can see a GoPro stuck to the window. Okay, it's stuck to the window, and it's got no straight lens on it. Okay, got that? It's got no straight lens on it. It's got the standard GoPro lens, so everything is going to be a little bit bent. And if you guys actually had the ability to get outside of the flat earth for a second and actually look and analyze the videos that you guys look at, you know, the little piggy video and the dog cam video and all those other high altitude balloon videos, if you guys actually took a second to actually analyze what you are seeing instead of saying that you see something that seems to fit your model, then you would actually have something to talk about. Okay, but you guys don't do that. Now, this is a claim that they made somewhere in the middle of the video. They said 11,000 feet higher. Now, this is 11,000 feet higher than what the U-2 was flying, I'm presuming. Now, let's talk about Ready-Made RC's video monitor. Okay, what you are seeing here is a live feed coming out the side of the GoPro. Now, another thing that you're seeing here is this is the bottom of the case, which we'll get into in a second. Okay, now it was pivoting around obviously at some point here, otherwise it wouldn't be looking basically up at the case. Okay, which means actually in this sense the case is tilted downwards, probably in a rotating fashion. I don't really know. Okay, they didn't show this live, they just showed this snapshot. Now, this is also where a DVR would have came in real well as far as recording the live footage in case you lose the camera. Okay, now there's a problem with this. And it's a problem that's not going to help anybody out on the flat earth side. Now, the camera records in 16 by 9. This is a 16 by 9 rectangle. Okay, now I know somebody's going to hate me for doing this. Okay, and people are going to bitch about it, and they're going to say I manipulated stuff and all this other stuff, and I don't really care. Okay, I know what I did. I could perform it live if you would like to see that on how I did that. But there is a neat little tool when you're working with image objects inside of Corel. I don't use Photoshop. I use Corel. I've been using Corel since its inception way back when. Okay. And when you are working with an object, and in this case a picture, you can click on that object several times. You'll get a rotate function, you'll get a perspective function, and you'll get a border distortion function. Border distortion is exactly what I'm going to need, because you see this right here. Because, like I said, I'm not saying that they did this on purpose. This was just somebody who took a picture of the video screen here. Okay, but this line is not parallel to this line because of perspective. This line right here is not parallel with this line, etc., etc., etc. It has to do with just the fact that this was not a direct line shot. So what you have to do is first you get yourself a base, and that is 16 by 9. And then now once I squeezed it in, at least to the sizes, okay, you can see the difference in the lines. Okay, now I'm not done yet. Using the frame or the distortion, I can actually pull out the edges to the 16 by 9. Okay, and make it as if I were looking directly at the picture. Okay, directly in a just a standard 2D way. Now, here's the problem. And this is a problem that I'm going to show in much greater detail here in a second. First of all, yes, this line is straight. That verifies that you're looking at the bottom of the case. Okay, this line is perfectly straight after doing the frame distortion. Okay, mind you, you've got to understand that. Okay, And now I didn't have this corner to work with because obviously this was all black. This is all just haze from the long distance video. You'll see in several different ones, there's dots that happen all over the place. I'm not saying that these are stars, and neither are they. Okay, because it's also outside of the frame here. Okay, that just has to do with the receiving of the remote video. Now, this line here is the edge of the frame here. Now all of this is black, but so I just had to have it line up. This is the frame of the video the video monitor, and then here's the bottom of the video, which is much brighter and it's easier to look at, and obviously the left side as well. Okay, now what you see here is you see that what's going on in the video is below the center of the video. Okay, now I don't know if the gimbal was originally intended to do to hold itself steady, and then therefore you have the whole the horizon sinks below eye level and all this other stuff. I don't know. Okay, but what I don't see here, and what nobody can say that they see here, even in the original image, is this is just a big fuzzy layer. Now in the full definition of the actual video, it might be clearer. Okay, but obviously here it is not. Okay, and like I said, to verify my technique of what I'm doing, this line is straight, which coincides with the straight line on the bottom edge of the box. Okay, now you can see a little bit of definition here. There's something going on here. There's something going on over here. Now, so the problem that you have there is that already it's below the center of the image, so either the gimbal's not working correctly or the horizon sinks below eye level at this particular height. They are claiming that this was the 11,000 feet above the U2. So, yeah. Hold on a second here. Now, and here I even drew a line on it and stuff like that, just so you can see that the bottom edge of the box is straight. So the technique of getting this into a 16:9 format out of that one still shot is accurate. Now, this is the problem that I have. First of all, if this is to be a stabilizing use of a gimbal for the horizon sinking or raising below or above eye level, whatever, okay, number one, there are several times where, you know, I mean, at this particular point where this shot was taken here, the box above it is actually rotating. Okay, and now if you watch the actual video, you'll see that, and I'll give you the timestamps here in a second. Okay, now here, as you can see, the horizon is well above the center, which means that at least the gimbal is not doing what it wants to do gimbal-wise as far as keeping the level of the horizon. Okay, and what I could show you, hold on a second, where is it? Now this is just a short sequence. This is at 15:11 of Rob's video. Okay, now there's this shot, and there's this shot where it's much lower. This shot where it's actually all the way down because the camera is looking, this is the bottom of the box. Okay, so the horizon's like down here somewhere. Okay, so the gimbal is not, well, gimbaling. It's not doing what it's supposed to be doing as far as verifying the level horizon thing. Okay, and then here's the next shot after that, and it's much higher. So that's basically where I'm at with this particular analysis. It didn't, obviously it didn't go as well as they wanted it to, otherwise they would have all their footage and all this. But I have my questions. Okay, number one, who was the idiot who decided to use the rubber grommets on the mount where a balloon was not going to be vibrating, and plus it would have made it less secure? Okay, knowing that there was going to be a burst and a whole bunch of jerking going on as far as the descent goes. Okay, I have no sympathy for you having lost your camera. Sadly, I don't. Number two, there was no DVR placed between the antenna and the monitor. Okay, so you have no idea, well, at least you don't claim to have any idea of where the camera came down. It's that simple. Okay, that was a big fail on y'all's part. Okay, you had no location capability of your individual devices. Okay, these balloons, you can watch the videos all the time. These balloons, sometimes they break apart. Sometimes they break apart on ascent, not just on descent, because of temperatures and people use the wrong materials. Okay, this stuff happens all the time, but you obviously want to be able to recover your equipment. Okay, and if you can't recover your equipment, then you just have no, you run the risk of doing all this work for nothing. Okay, the cutoff shear, hold on, where is it? The cutoff shear is not a shear cutoff. Okay, at absolute best, it's the rip of the cables off of this connector. However, the connector would have survived that rip. So I have questions here as to what that could have possibly meant. Okay, and plus, now these might be glued on the other side, so I won't say that one of these would have been missing, but they should have just screwed the damn thing to the plywood on the bottom of the box, as opposed to using worthless and also weak connecting points such as these. Okay, in the future, use a keychain finder, put it on your equipment. You'll be able to find this stuff. Okay, now if I were to give you a search location, like I said, this is just a recap. If I were to give you a search location, within the first minute after the burst of the balloon, let's say, like I said, this is just me talking here. This is obviously not the burst location, or at least I don't think it is. But if this was the burst location, then whatever its GPS track point, let's say if it went down to there, okay, then what you would need to do is just say that that is where this happened, and that's where it would be. It would not be at the landing location, because if it was at 118,000 feet falling down on a parachute, it's going to drift. Okay, so let's say if it drifted, it landed over here, the camera is all the way over here. Got what I'm saying? All right, so the top camera, I would like to see the 118,000 foot top camera footage, okay, to see what it brought up, if it brought up anything, all the way up until the point of burst. I want to see the balloon actually burst, just so we know we're all looking at the same footage. Okay, because they didn't show that in their video, and this video was produced after the fact. Obviously, it wasn't all 100% live. I think they were doing a live feed while they were doing it, but this video that came out was actually after the fact. Okay. Because like I said, the low light excuse me, the low light setting on the camera would not have produced this image, okay, if it was actually doing that. But the camera might be good enough to have caught 1 or 2 stars when it was all the way up at 118,000 feet. Possible. I'm not 100% certain on that. Okay, and what do you call it? And again, like I said, the gimbal activity, where is it? The gimbal activity was obviously all over the place, as you showed at the 1511 through about 1530 point of your video. Your gimbal was all over the place. So anybody who wants to say, out of this footage, should you find that camera, anybody who wants to say that it shows the horizon at eye level would be wrong, because you showed it in your video right here that that gimbal is all over the place. It might have produced otherwise steady video, but at a bare minimum, the pitch axis, the up and down axis, which might have actually just frozen by the time it got up there, because temperature differences are pretty bad. You can see in the actual video how it actually goes up and then down and then up and down, but you can actually watch the the payload rotate above it. Okay, which means at least the yaw axis was working just fine. Okay, so that's all I really got. You guys have the information and you have the top camera footage. It would be nice to see if you can actually produce that. You guys have the data of the flight itself. So like I said, a footprint of maybe about, honestly, given the device itself, maybe tops a quarter-mile diameter spot below where the balloon popped. That's where you're going to find your gimbal camera. And so I would suggest that's what you actually go do. And then, of course, ask a neighbor or two, because they might have been a little bit curious about something landing out in their field, and they might have even noticed it. Okay? So that's where I'm at on this. Let me go over here and take a look at the chat and see what's going on, because apparently a couple of things are moving by really fast. Hey, Mohammed, assalamu alaikum. Let's see. What's up, Meeb? Music God, Rex in here. Cool. What's going on, Anthony? Let's see here. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, hola. Oh, Mark Taylor. Wow. I got lots of people in here. Now, here's the other thing. You know who you won't find in here, and you know what? Honestly, you won't hear possibly Skiba's reply to this, because of the fact that, well, Skiba has a habit of not replying to things and deleting comments and stuff like that. And I'm sorry, you know, if anything that I just said over the past, I don't know how long I've been talking now, but it's probably been probably about 30 minutes at least. I'm sorry, man, but this is just a pure analysis of the images and the footage that you put out. Okay. Sly can't balloon. Yeah. That'd be great. I can't balloon. I'm not allowed to inside the borders of this country. We just actually had a couple weeks back, somebody sent up an amateur weather balloon and video balloon, and it came down and it landed on some high power lines for some trains. So it didn't go very well. Skiba is an actor. Look him up on IMDb. Yeah, I looked him up on that, but that's because of the fact that he actually has some produced work, so therefore it actually does, it shows up on IMDb, unfortunately. But no, I mean, I'd love to do one, but number one, they cost money that I don't have. Number two, the little bit of equipment that I have, I'm not going to stick on it. And number three, like I said, within the borders of this country, I'm actually not allowed to. Multi-Tom-Tom, thanks for promoting it. Flat Earth. Hey, did you, by the chance, go over and do Daz's car yet? Remember that? Multi-Tom-Tom? Yeah. Did you go watch that car yet? Yeah, that's what I thought. But, because, you know, well, I'll tell you what. Multi-Tom-Tom figures himself a hero. Let me pop out chat here. What's up, Gio? Guten Abend. Let's see here. All right, Tom. I got you on here. Now, Tom, I'm going to give you one chance to go ahead and write one solid proof. What's up, Richard? One solid proof of, not denying globe, of flat Earth. Go. Type it up. Nobody block him. Nobody dump him. Nothing. Streber, ich gucke deine Kommentare gleich nachher. Ich will mal sehen, was die Tom hier antwortet. Come on, Tom, you got my attention. Evidence is proof, dummy. Come on, Tom, one time. And remember, you only got so many characters you're allowed to use, so it better be a good one. Come on, Tom Tom. Cigar Face puts 666 in there. Well, that's nice and whatever. It's just a number. Water is always level. Well, look up the definition of level and then realize that that was not a answer. Give me one thing that one piece of proof of flat Earth. Come on, give me one piece of proof of flat Earth. There's a cool username. Gravity, you fucking retard. Come on, Tom Tom. Yeah, well, it does always have a curved meniscus. So, and plus, water by itself, not acted on by any other force, is round. So, thanks for playing. Come on. Come on, Tom Tom. Horizon is level, dude. Yeah, so is it when you are standing close to a sphere. Come on. That's still not that's still not doing it for me, man. You need some proof. Curve has not been found. Curve has been found. You want to go find curve? Look at my analysis or look at the video yourself of Dwayne Kellum, who was a flat earther, his third balloon launch. Go ahead and look at it for yourself. Come on, Tom Tom. Give me proof of flat Earth. Oh, machst du einen Luftballon, Gio? You haven't given me a proof, Tom Tom. You gave me two echoed claims that you yourself can't even substantiate. Come on. One proof of flat Earth. Geo, wo wird denn das gestartet? What's up, atheist? He ran out of proofs. Yeah, just like the Binford guys ran out of batteries. You can do you can do this experiment yourselves. What experiment? Come on, give me the experiment. What's the experiment? Because I can give you about 20 of them, which you'll deny because of reasons. Give me proof. Come on, Tom Tom. Go out and observe. I'm probably outside a lot more than you are, buddy. Come on. Aha, verstehe. Tom Tom, you're stalling, man. Come on. Yeah, gee, that almost looks like waves. So I guess it's not exactly flat now, is it? Or level. Come on. Ask him why the sun can't be seen with a telescope 1 minute after sunset. Well, they'll just say you have to zoom in further. I know that one. Come on, Tom Tom. I am in Lower Hessen. I'm a rocket man. 2 is enough. You haven't given me 1 yet. You said the horizon's level. Well, the horizon's level on a when you're standing close to a sphere too. And you said that water is always flat, which it's not. So you haven't given me 1 yet. Come on, Tom Tom. Deny all I want? Well, gee. You got to have something to deny it, right? Yeah, just like flat earthers deny gravity and the sun and the moon and stars and Another proof that the earth is flat. What, that you typed another proof that the earth is flat? Come on, what is the proof? Give me the proof, dude. Because right now, all you did was just acknowledge the fact that you guys deny everything. Come on. Well, hold on, Sean, man. He's got to make a level claim first. It's all around, guys, but you are blind. Okay, well, aside from your childish text there, dude, you gotta give me the proof. You mean to tell me you got all this proof and you believe in this shit and you're 100% positive this shit is real, but yet you have no proof of it? Okay, you watched Dubé's video and now you figure you're a genius. Come on now. At least the flatties invite you on for chats. No, actually, only one flat earther has ever let me into a chat, and that shit was funny. So yeah, fill your bath with water. It's level. Really? So doesn't it curve up on the edges, or does it curve down? I guess that would depend on the surface. Right. And what kind of a swath do you think that the size of a bathtub would be by comparison to the size of the Earth? Water needs a container. Not really. Otherwise, we wouldn't have humidity, now would we? I'm not searching. Yeah, okay, yes, I am searching. I am searching for your point, dude. Okay. Would you not agree that maybe 5 foot of bathtub on a circle that was what? What is the circumference of the planet? Let's see. Of Earth. Okay, so 5 foot. Well, excuse me. We'll say 2 meters. 2 meters of bathtub compared to 40,000 kilometers. You know, come on, man. Exactly how much curvature are you looking for in your bathtub, buddy? Wait, you just said something up there and it scrolled away from me there. Not one proof for the ball. Yeah, well, gee, we could take pictures from it. We could take pictures of it. So, I win. Reflections off the water. I win. Stars, moon, sun, their motions tracked daily, yearly, over decades. I win. And the fact that you were able to look up 24,975, I win. FE is gaining momentum for the very same reason that Trump got voted in, is because people, the amount of people who are stupid on this planet. Okay, just because we made video production easy to use, hey, you know, I mean, hell, how many people follow the Kardashians every day? As if somebody really gave a damn. Growing big, yeah, growing big. That's you got. Let me tell you something about it growing big there, Tom. It's not actually growing big as you say it is. It's not that big. But the other side of that is you have to ask yourself, how can so many people believe in something that has not one shred of proof? There are not millions of FEers on Facebook. there are millions of accounts, and I don't even think it's at millions. And for spreaders of the truth, you guys sure don't seem to want to let it out now, do you? So come on, Tom Tom, give me one proof. Tell me the one proof, not the one denial, the one proof that makes the earth flat. Just one. The globe has big problems. Well, yeah, actually, the globe does have big problems, but not in the sense that you're talking about. Come on, man. One proof. This is your moment, man. This is your moment. You already made a fool out of yourself to dazzle the cameraman, and I'm sure to many others. Take away gravity and what you got, well, we would all fall off the planet now, wouldn't we? Take away gravity, actually, what do you got? And don't come at me with magnetism because you're going to make a fool out of yourself. Sean, I'm not ignoring you, man, but I got to get out of here in like 5 minutes. So unfortunately, I'm just doing that. I never claimed to be a genius. Yeah, but you claim to have proof. So give me proof. You don't have to be a genius. Nobody has to be a genius. Einstein the fraud. Well, guess what? I can't even tell you if Einstein ever existed. I never met the man. So come on, let's go. All you got right now so far is they lie. Come on. My time's running out here, man. Hey, Simple Deacon, if you want to give that up, I will gladly do that. You can hit me offline on that. I will do that in a heartbeat. Thanks, Quickie. Gil, ja, das weiß ich doch. Aber ist mir doch egal, ne? Ich habe mir ein bisschen Spaß mit dem Kerl. Streaming from a military base in Germany. Well, that's an interesting point, but no, actually, I'm not. Nice try, though. Is that the extent? Is that the extent of what you're gonna do? Now you're just gonna throw little insults and shit like that. No, I'm not an agent. You would actually laugh if you knew what I do for a living. Check my Hangouts. Hold on a second here. Yeah, like I said, Sean, I'm not trying to duck you, but I am trying to get out of here in a second. I need to. Come on, Tom Tom. Colonel. Jeez, if you're gonna call me a colonel, which would be awesome, at least you could spell it correctly, dude. Because the colonel you did was either a software comment for PC or corn. So this is a special gift from Sean Hufford. Would you consider the outside of this tire to be level with the rim or with the hub? Yeah. Tell that to a colonel, man. So Tom, I'm understanding that you're just not going to say anything of value. Is that how I'm understanding that? And you're not going to answer this question either? You don't do graphics? Well, you're going to have to do graphics if you believe in flat Earth, buddy, because that's all you guys got. So would you consider, if this was a real tire on a real rim, which I find this to be a quite nice graphic representation, wouldn't you consider the surface of the tire to be level with the surface of the rim? Graphics proof, dude. Don't get mad at the graphics. You know what the question is, and you're avoiding answering it. So, you know what, Tom? You've only done well at acknowledging everything that Daz the cameraman said about you. You're just a dumbass, man. Well, he didn't say that, but I'm going to say it that way because you can't even back yourself up, man. You're fighting for a belief that has no proof. Okay, sorry, and it's religion based, so deal with that. Okay. I don't really care what you have to say. I was just wondering if you actually had something interesting to contribute, but you don't. Yeah, flat Earth forever. Yeah, well, if you don't like the globe, you can always leave. Anyway, so other things that I saw through here, everybody pay attention to Geostreba because he is going to be launching a balloon sometime soon. Be aware of that. See, Sean, he wasn't even going to answer this one because he doesn't like graphics. So he can deal with that. Flat Earther fight game where we get to beat up flat earthers. Yeah, well, I have to get beyond certain levels first there. Oh, Silver Wolf, and he's making full recovery. Okay. Well, like I said, pay attention because Geostrebo or Silver Wolf is going to be doing a balloon launch. That's cool. And everybody feel free to critique, by all means, the words that I have said up to this point about Skiba's balloon launch, because I know Skiba won't do it. I don't know why, but their balloon launch was, in my eyes, as an RC guy, as a researcher, as and all that, was a failure from front to back. The only thing that they succeeded in was getting back one of their two cameras, and they haven't even shown the footage from that one yet. Okay, so, and they do have that one. Earth will, thank you, Multi-Tom Tom. Earth will be flat soon. Okay, so you mean it's not flat now. Thank you for going into that for me. Appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, telling the truth is being a troll then, I guess. I'm not even sure where that goes. You can see in this video. Guys, y'all see this, right? You can see that in this video, the video horizon rises to eye level. Wow, thanks for coming in late to the discussion. But I'm not going to go into it because of the fact that I don't have very much time now. But Russ person, if you actually meant that, go to Rob Skiba's video. Hold on a second here. Let me actually bring it up. History, blah, 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 blah. Where is it at? Oh, there we go. Go to Rob Skiba's video. Oh, no, that's me. And go to this timestamp right here. Okay. You go to the timestamp of 1511. And when you go to that timestamp, for about 20 seconds there, they're recording the live feed coming from the gimbal camera. Okay. You will see the horizon go from here, down to here, all the way up, and all the way down. You'll see it go all over the place. So much for the thoughts of the horizon remaining at eye level, at least from this particular equipment. Rises to eye level. You got picked onions for eyes. Yeah, that's gotta love it, man. All right, guys, I gotta get, but like I said, in the comments below, put whatever critiques you thought on the first 20 minutes of this, or 25 minutes of this, where I was actually critiquing the balloon launch. I would love to hear from you. And no, unlike most people, I do not block comments. So if you have something objective to add, then I'm all ears. If you don't have anything objective to add, and you want to be like Tom here and go funny with his shit, or Russ, who came in a little late and doesn't realize how stupid his comment was, then you know, we'll deal with that accordingly. You guys have a great day. Yeah, promoting the FE, go for it, Tom. You know, promoting it would actually be proving it. So that's the single most dumb question I have ever been asked. So, guys. And Russ, if I mistook you for an FE and you're not an FE, I apologize for that. I'm just kind of taking these things as they come, because it was a little bit hectic in here for a little while there. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have yourselves a nice night.